Please excuse the setup. It's not ideal, of course. Okay. Should be ready to go with everything. Yeah. Okay. Should be ready to start painting. So today, or tonight, I guess, going to be painting probably about an hour-ish. I've got a couple games coming up tomorrow, so there's just a couple models that I don't have to even like a decent tabletop standard ready to go yet. So I have these two just absolutely beat to hell old rhinos, and these were Space Marine rhinos, as you can see by the what are they called? Purity seals, little Space Marine bits, um, and Aquillas and whatever. So they were Space Marine rhinos that somebody had converted into orc trucks, and they had actually used like hot glue gun glue to glue it all together. So took as much of the glue off as I could get pretty easily, and I just left them like super rough and beat up, because for anybody that's kept tabs on my World Eaters, the idea behind them is that they don't really maintain or keep their own stuff. They just kind of steal it from other people. So it made sense that they would steal a couple rhinos from some Space Marine chapter. Yeah, hot glue. Well, see, so because they were orc trucks, Penguin, what they'd done is they just took these rhinos and they just glued like all kinds of random bits and chunks of metal and stuff to them. So it actually didn't look that bad. But like trying to clean them up, it was a little bit of a nightmare. I gave them a soak in alcohol. I think it was 70%. And I mixed that like 50-50 with water usually, just to make sure it doesn't hurt the models. And so the glue came off no problem. But as you can see, they're still quite. And I normally, like, if I cared, I would have taken the time to scrape off all the Imperial symbols and stuff. But I was like, I don't really care. They're just rhinos. They're just, cheap, crappy little things. Like, I'm just imagining the World Eaters pretty recently stole them. So I wasn't too worried about that. So basically, as you can see, I've just airbrushed them. I went over it with, I did the whole thing black, and then I did the whole thing in a really light gray, and then I just hit the general highlight areas with a white, and then I just did some yellow on the headlights real quick. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to do black on the tracks, and then, so once I've done them all black, I'll just dry brush them with silver, and then I'll do some weathering paints. I usually do a little bit of what I do for the base paint for this army on the tracks and stuff, just to make it look like they're driving through the sandy desert area that my World Eaters are fighting in. And I'll do a couple little, I'll do some weathering and some details and some scratches and stuff like that. But none of that should take too long. And I'm hoping I'll get that done pretty quickly, because then, let me move these out of the way, what we're going to be starting on, and I'm hoping I can make some progress on him tonight, is this big chungus. Oh, he's not going to fit in frame very well. Let me move the camera a little bit for you guys. There is my custom, what's it called? Corn Lord of Skulls on his giant spider legs. The spider legs are 3D prints. But other than that, it's all the real model. I had to obviously do some modifying, like to get the tank on his back and stuff. But yeah, I think he's pretty cool. He's never had a game, but I hear they're actually pretty decent. So hopefully we get some work done on those rhinos, and then I can get started on that big guy. But we'll see. We'll see how we get. The other thing is that my son has already been waking up. He is teething again. So I might have to cut the stream short and go run in with him, just so we're aware. But I don't know how many, I can't see how many people or if anybody is watching. I assume you're there, Penguin. How's everybody tonight? Penguin, you'd said on Patreon you said you were painting a Thousand Suns tank tonight. What tank is that? Is it just a rhino, or are you doing like like a Predator or Land Raider or something. I have some lovely orange tea that the wife likes. I always forget to have a drink when we do these, and then it's like I talk for an hour and start my throat starts getting all like scratchy and stuff. So, anyways, I'm gonna just start slapping black on these tracks here, and yeah, I'll just go from there. I don't even use the Citadel black, or I've never found it to be any better than or different than just like your standard black. Like I know, or I think it's a Baden black that's just like your standard black, kind of glossy finish. I know they have like a matte black and they've got a couple different ones, but I just do the same. Like you're never gonna leave anything black. Like black is like always gonna be like um, a bottom color, and then you're gonna go over it with you're either highlighting it, you're dirtying it up in some way. Like it's just there to be underneath generally. And even if it's the main color, like whether you're dry brushing or you're highlighting or whatever, like it really, like I've never found it to matter a whole ton what type of black it is, whether it's whether it's a little bit glossier, it's a little bit not. Like obviously there's a bit of a difference, but I've never found it to be enough. And almost all my armies have black somewhere in the scheme. So it's a Land Raider, so it's kind of a tank, but it's also a proxy because a model World War II tank is cheaper than G. Oh, awesome! Which World War II tank is it that you're using? I actually, you know, like I'm you know, been always really interested in history and you know, I think pretty much every guy at some point has gone through that phase where they've been like kind of obsessed with learning about various wars and battles and things, whether it's medieval times or World War One, World War Two, Confederate War if you're American maybe, or not Confederate War, sorry, Civil War. Um, just so you know, I'm not a tank nerd, so I'm no pro. Oh no, okay, no worries then. I'm not. I couldn't. You know, rhyme off like every variation of every tank, but like for World War II, I know, you know, most of the standard German tanks, the standard Allied tanks. Like I always thought that stuff was pretty cool. I especially loved reading or watching documentaries about like tank battles and history and stuff. I always thought they were interesting. A little bit of a guilty pleasure in recent times, as as terrible as that whole situation is watching clips of the current crisis in Ukraine. Like, obviously, is terrible. Like, absolutely terrible what's happening over there. But you have to admit, it is kind of cool to see Russian tanks go boom. I wonder if I get. Not that I am anyway, but I wonder if you get demonetized right now for saying that. They probably like encourage you to say it right now. The box says a Yag Panther. Okay, yeah, yeah. I do. I can. Like I do know what that looks like. I believe a lot of them were kitted out like in actual World War II were kitted out to be tank hunters. They were like really good at blowing up other tanks. That's pretty cool. But Russian tank goes boom. Yeah. Oh man. Like it's like again, it feels so weird because it's like it's actually happening like right now. But I just saw a clip the other day. It was like a Ukrainian special forces ambush on a tank column, and it's like a perfect overhead view. You can see like 15 or 20 different armored vehicles, some tanks, some like personnel carriers, whatever, like driving in a line down the road. And then you see the missile fired, like a handheld missile fired from the tree line, blows up a tank near the front. Like it explodes. You can see people getting out of it. And then eventually, like a couple of the other tanks end up like returning fire. And I think another one or two end up getting hit. Um, but yeah, it's pretty wild. Hopefully that all gets, you know, I'm no, I'm no genius. I don't know the solutions to all these sorts of things, but hopefully it all gets sorted out sooner rather than later. Obviously, as a dad, seeing anything where a children's hospital gets blown up, it's pretty fucking upsetting. But anyways, enough of this depressing talk. There's enough bullshit in normal life without coming to Average Joe stream being all bummed out. I was gonna talk briefly about the newest episode of Exodite. I only got to talk a little bit about the first episode because I was doing that stream at work, and there ended up being a little mini emergency fire alarm and all that. But yeah, so the second episode is out now. And before I get into any negative stuff, also because I tend to go ranting quite a bit when it comes to Warhammer Plus, but I'll talk about what I liked. And what I liked with this episode was all of it. It, honest to God, like, when I say that watching that gave me the same sort of epic Warhammer like feel, like, oh my god, this is so cool, as Astartes, like, I'm not lying to you guys. Like, it genuinely, I am no expert on the technical side of animation. I'm sure there's things to pick apart and whatever, but like for me, as just a big dum dum watching it, it like I didn't really see any flaws. Like, I'm sure there was probably something there, like maybe some, slight movement was shaky or something, but yeah, it honestly, like the way it was shot, the music, the sound design, the all of it looked really, really, really good. It looked as good as we could hope for. And it's honestly, like, as far as I'm can tell, like it's probably the best representation, especially in this episode, but the last episode as well, of like big full scale 40k battles. Like, Astartes was amazing because it, in a way, because it was so like contained and confined, and you just had these like five Astartes or whatever just tearing through a ship, being epic and showing how epic they are that way. But this is the first time, I think, that we've seen a really good like mixed forces battle taking place. So I won't spoil the whole episode, but as I said in the last one, like the way the first one ended, there's a Eldar Exodite on the planet who is basically messing up the Tau's attempts at negotiating with the humans, because he just keeps assassinating basically the leadership of both sides, and the humans keep thinking that it's the Tau doing it. They don't even know that there's this Eldar running around doing it. And so the Tau are being, like a Tau stealth team are being sent down to investigate, or not investigate, to capture him. And they very specifically keep saying capture and not just like kill him. So they must also want to like interrogate him or find out something. But yeah, they're being sent down to capture him. But basically, like, it's a war zone. Like, the whole planet is a war zone. So you get some really, really good shots of a big battle taking place between the forces of the Imperium and the Tau Empire. And, as you can see in the like card image for the episode, there is Titans in this. Basically, I guess I am just gonna spoil a lot of it because I just want to talk about it. It basically opens up. They like shot for shot steal the they steal the scene from Saving Private Ryan. For anybody that's seen that really good movie, where Tom Hanks's character is like on the ground crawling, and then he's just got like his little handgun, and there's a German tank rolling up to him, and he's just like kind of pathetically shooting it with his handgun. And in that movie, the Air Force arrives and blows up the tank and kind of saves him in that moment. Um, but in this, it's a Tau crawling along the ground with a Lehman Russ rolling up to him, and no Air Force comes, and it just crushes him. And it's like it's very it's very satisfying to see, honestly. So that was really cool. And then when the big you see the big battle, you see groups of Tau fire warriors trading fire with they're like trading fire with Imperial Guard, and they look to be, or at least some of them look to be Kriegsmen, like with the gas masks, um, Death Corps of Krieg. So, like, they're trading fire. You see a Tau Hammerhead get shot by a Lehman Russ battle cannon, and it gets blown up. And then it kind of looks like the Imperials are like winning the battle, like they're pushing the Tau back a little bit. And then you hear like a wah, 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 like engines revving up, and you see a Manta rise up from behind the Tau gun line, and it just blows up like it just instantly blows up. I think two Lehman Russ tanks, and then like some shots from it hit a big like rock pillar, and then that falls on top of another couple. They might have even been the shot is really quick. I should like pause it and look at it better. They honestly might have been like Bane blades. Hey, would you look at that penguin? We got another Slanesh bot. Don't fall for it, penguin. Be strong. Let me see. Am I able? Everyone always says so. Can I? Hmm. Hide user on this channel. Does that work? Did that work? Did that work, penguin? Did all those messages get hidden, or did they all get deleted? Holy shit! They sent a lot. That was so quick. Oh my god. I only like zine spots. Yeah, I would way rather that. I'll delete it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never had one. Like, I don't know if you saw them all. They were like uploading faster than I could delete them. It honestly commented like 9 times in like 5 seconds. So I can see why that would be super annoying. I've never had one like that before. I guess that's why people always complain about them. That was ruthless. But anyways, so the manta shows up, and it just shreks all of the tanks that are right there. But as the pillar falls down and the smoke starts to clear, you get the epic Warlord Titan war horn in the distance, and you see it coming through the smoke, and it just one shots the freaking manta. It blows its wing off, and it comes crashing down, and that kind of ends the scene there. But again, later on in the episode, you see another really cool scene where something big hits the Warlord's shields, and it might have been the manta as it was going down. Honestly, it's kind of hard to tell, but it blows up the Warlord Titan shields, and then you see a whole squad of like 20 Tau crisis suits come flying up, and like even in the tabletop they have jetpacks, but now we actually really see them using them effectively, and they're like a swarm of bees like buzzing around the Warlord Titan. They're like targeting its joints and stuff. They're not doing a ton of damage, but you can see like the missiles hitting it and stuff. But then another Warlord Titan comes, and it has a different armament. The first Titan seemed like it was like more geared up for blowing up vehicles, and it didn't have much defense against the little suits. But the second one shows up and it just like basically instantly kills the whole swarm of them with some like, heavy. I don't know what their guns are called. It's got like giant rapid fire type guns on the top of it. But yeah, it's really cool. You see the Tau stealth team, um, stealthily land on like a group of Imperial Guard and take them out. You see a Kriegsman that they thought they killed get back up and freaking club one of them to death with like a trench club. You see the Eldar guy. So they try to like set an ambush for him, but turns out ambushing Eldar is really hard, and he actually ambushes them, and he kills like all but two of them, like the main two Tau people, between sniping them and then just like stabbing them. And they do a really good job too of showing like how fast the Eldar are supposed to be. Like the tower having a really hard time like locking onto him because he's just like flipping and jumping all over the place. So honestly, really, really good. Arguably one of the best Warhammer things I've ever seen. Right up there, like in terms of like my enjoyment, like in watching it, right up there with Astartes. And yeah, but now we will get to the negatives because uh, we can't have nice things. We can't have everything our way. So the negatives, the biggest one is going to be the length. It is so. Keep in mind, this is the first animation since the first episode, and that was, I think, I want to say 4 weeks ago, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say 3 weeks ago. So we got one 11-minute episode in 3 weeks. And, it's just so far from like what they promised and what they made it seem that it's pretty sad. Like, yeah, like I get it. I'm getting it for so cheap that like I almost don't complain because I'm like, oh, like it didn't really cost me anything, but like it really is pretty sad how little content there is and how little is like how slowly they're releasing stuff. Like, no, I don't think anybody would care if they would have just delayed war. Like, why would you not? Like, if this is all you have, like, why wouldn't you just delay Warhammer Plus for a year and then actually release it with like, obviously we know like the whole like scheme is to, only release a little bit each month or whatever to keep people subscribed, but that's fine. But it seems like they don't even have enough for that. Like, it seems like they don't even have enough ready to work off that. And like, when last week rolled around, Exodite 2 was supposed to come out, and they actually delayed it. And they were like, "Oh, it'll be out in the next couple days. Sorry guys, like don't worry about it. It'll be out soon." And it actually wasn't out for a full another week. It wasn't a couple days like they said. It was a full another week. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't really care. I'm not paying very much for it, but I can't really, in good faith, recommend it to other people right now, unless they start putting out a lot more stuff, or it becomes, even cheaper than it already is. Which I don't want. Like, I don't want it to be, $1 because there's nothing there. Like, I'm fine paying $5 or whatever. I just want there to actually be stuff to watch. Just one sec. I just have to get something from ye old painting bag. There we go. Sorry. All right. So I've successfully painted black on the tires of this, and honestly, that is like so tedious. I hate doing that. So I'm gonna do something a little bit more fun now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sponge on a little bit of black paint, and be the first part of the weathering process. obviously the first of several. Anybody that watches me knows that's probably one of my favorite things to do. But so what I do is I just get just an average, any old sponge will do. And what you're going to do is hit any areas where there would be likely to be damage for a tank, especially focusing down near the tracks. And then any of the like corners, good places to do. Try to make it look natural, spread it out. You don't want like a whole ton in one spot and then none in another. I did not get enough paint. There we go. And I got it all over myself. Of course. So we're just gonna hit the bottoms. It's funny, our last stream, got talking so much about like random other stuff, especially like outdoorsy stuff. And then literally like I don't know if she heard me saying something about it or what, but like my daughter has done nothing but go on for the last like week or so about how she can't wait for it to be summer so that we can go out and start catching snakes and stuff again. Apparently she's getting very antsy to be able to get back out and do that more. Most people are like, what is wrong with your child? Why? I don't know. I don't know, man. Kids like the snakes. I think they're cool. So yeah, the goal tonight is not for an award, that is for sure. Just making it look cool so that it's not, completely out of place next to my other world eaters, which I did put a fair amount of effort into. Okay with talking about stuff other than my things are cool. Yeah. I actually just we like kind of random like where most people I think with their kids they like read stories and stuff before bed, which we do too sometimes, but mine my daughter especially, her favorite thing is we just like go on YouTube or Reddit or whatever, and we'll just look at cool pictures and videos of either animals or like if they've just discovered like a new dinosaur or like stuff like that. And in particular, she's really been enjoying. There's this guy on YouTube, and I'm gonna forget the name. I think it's like NKS Herping or something like that. Basically, all he does is he just drives around the different states and whatever, and just goes around catching cool different snakes and other creatures. And I'm like, man, how did you manage that? Because like my freaking got my freaking dream job here. Somehow made a career out of it, so good for him. So now that I've done, I don't know how well that's showing up. Now that I've done all of the basic like sponging on of the black, I'm gonna go do the actual like scratches and more defined battle damage just with a fine tipped brush here. And yeah, and then after that, then I'll be highlighting and all that other junk. But again, we're keeping it very simple. I'm not doing anything too crazy here. Again, for the scratches, like I don't know how you can see the front of that. Just do like that's what I always start with the sponge, and then I just kind of go off that. So like right here, for example, like anywhere where there's like a bigger blotch, then I'll usually bring a scratch out of that. Oops. Holding it at a weird angle, so I just made it a little bit bigger than I meant to, but there we go. Kind of like that. I'll just bring it out off that. Painting a tank without an airbrush is a special kind of hell. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Like doing like any of my other big vehicles for the World Eaters, I did them all without an airbrush. And yeah, like painting like flat panels is terrible. Like I'm convinced that probably is some sort of a punishment in the third layer, third ring of hell or whatever. Like it is so brutal trying to get like a consistent color in on a large flat surface like that. Like it's so rough. So I feel your pain, Penguin. That was me. And like I'm not very good with my airbrush. I'm still learning it. And also it's a very, I don't know if I've said this, it's a very cheap airbrush. I just got a really um cheap kind of crappy one off of Amazon. I think it cost me like $75 that. And oh my god, it's back. How is it back already? All right, how do I Well, mm, hide user on this channel. Okay. Hopefully they're gone again. Sorry about that. Man, this is brutal. I don't know how do people why does this like what like obviously it's a bot, like obviously it's not a real person, but like somebody made this bot and they obviously make a lot of them. So like I guess it must work in some way, but also it's like I think in today's day and age, like everybody, yeah, like what do they? Well, I assume it's like a scam, right? Like it's something like you're gonna click on that and it's gonna give your phone a virus or something. But it's like why, and also who would click on it? Like unless people click on it by accident, like unless I'm gonna click on it by accident trying to delete it. I think in today's day and age, most people are gonna be wise enough not to click on random porn. Like you're sitting here watching, you know, some idiot paint a tank, and you're like, ooh, you know what? I wasn't thinking about porn, but now, now that it's popped up, I'm gonna go get it. It's not a link. I can't click it. I didn't try. Okay, good. Good, Penguin. Don't try. Fight the urge. Fight the power. Oh, oh, Penguin. So this is you're gonna get a kick out of this. So I don't know if you will remember this, but do you remember a couple times when I've been streaming at work as I do, you know, because I'm such a good and dedicated employee. Um, a couple times when I've been streaming at work, there's been a girl that's come and like kind of sat behind me or whatever, and she's kind of talked to me a bit while I've been streaming. Do you remember her at all? So I remember when that happened a couple times, whether it was you or other people watching the stream were like, oh, like she was asking about Warhammer, like she's going to be hooked now or whatever. Well, guess what? She's coming to game night tomorrow. So we did uh we did wear her down. And yeah, it was literally because she's on my team, and she literally like, you know, over the last couple weeks or whatever, just kind of asking about it a little bit more here and there, like clearly interested in it. And I was like, you know, you're always more than welcome to come, you know, hang out next time we play or whatever, and see what it's like. And I didn't have to like convince her or anything. She jumped right on it. So it looks like we've got our next member of the group because my group is quite small. I think I've said that before. My group of friends that play Warhammer is there's three of us that play quite a bit, and then there's maybe a half dozen other people like at my work that are into it, but just different shifts and whatever. We've never really um, gotten together or played together at all. So having a new person would be really nice. But it's so funny. It literally is like a plastic crack. Like I think it probably is. What's the average Warhammer group size? Um, I mean, it's probably. I think it probably depends where you live. Like if you're in a city, probably pretty easy to find. Like like your local gaming store in a city is obviously going to have way more people than like my local gaming store at any given time. Not many people in there. I live in a pretty small town. Um, but I mean, I think half a dozen to a dozen people that kind of know each other and play together. I think that probably sounds about normal. So we're probably just a little smaller than normal, to be fair. With we're like three guys that play pretty regularly. Live in the biggest city in New Mexico, and I just have the three people I play with. Now, are they all like? How did you guys meet? Like, did you guys all meet at your local store, or are you guys all like buddies from work or from school or something? Because all the people I play with, it's all from my work. Like, I work at a where I work. There's probably about probably well over 1,000 people that work there. But like we work in pretty small teams and groups, so it's pretty easy to wear people down and convince them. I like I say if I always say like if you're into any nerdy stuff, like chances are you probably would be into Warhammer. Like if you like Star Wars, you're probably gonna like Warhammer. If you like Lord of the Rings, you probably would like Warhammer, Age of Sigmar. Like, it's not a big stretch to convince people that already like that stuff, I think. That's some good tea. That is some good tea. I don't drink tea that much, but that is good tea. All right. So what I'm going to do now that the tank is... Ooh, that is like really blurry all of a sudden. Now that the tank is all scratched up, I'm going to go and I'm going to highlight those scratches with some white. And I might do just some of the like very most prominent edges. And yeah, I think that's what we'll do. This white, I don't know why, maybe it's because of where I live. I don't know. I seem to just get the worst luck with paints. I don't think anybody has as much struggles as I do. Like, it seems like probably 50% of the paints I buy, there's something wrong with them. They're either like way too runny or way too thick or some combination. Like, they're never just, they're almost never just fine and normal. It's really annoying. I blame Russia. I blame Russia. I must be importing. I'm importing GW's Russian branch of paints. That must be it. You watch. I talk too much. I'm gonna talk too much shit about Russia, and then I'm gonna have one of those accidental heart attacks where you put like 3 bullets in the back of your head. Could you imagine? And they'll say Zach died doing what he loved, talking shit. Talking shit about people he shouldn't talk shit about. The only paint I have trouble with is Corax White. Well, funny you should mention that. I've never even bought Corax White. I've always bought... I cheat and I use Ulthuan Gray a lot, which is like almost white. And then this is White Scar. And super, super runny. But I don't remember it being super runny the last time I bought it. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. I haven't even asked yet. So how goes the Proxy Land Raider painting? You said you're doing it without an airbrush, so I imagine it's probably getting pretty tedious. So yeah, I've got the top highlights of the scratches done. I'm debating. I might go back and do it another time when I care slightly more. I'll just do a couple little ones here. I was debating doing all the edges highlighted properly, but I think I might just go and hit some of the main ones. Oh, that's the other thing too. I haven't even put any washes on here. I'll do a little recess wash too. I keep looking at it and just being like, ugh, this is gonna be like, because I can't just do like no effort. I have a certain standard I have to hold myself to. So I keep looking at it and being like, ugh, this is gonna be more work than I wanted it to be. Because I was hoping to have these two, at least the two tanks, like in a half decent state for my game tomorrow. It's very spiked and my paint is too thin, but it's too late to correct, so 15 layers. 15 layers. You make Duncan so proud. I haven't watched any, I don't think I've watched any videos from Duncan's new channel. I don't know if that's like a sin to admit that or not. Seem like he's doing well since the split from Daddy GW? He's not like depressed Duncan? Or like lawsuit Duncan? Because I think he was like, you don't know. Oh my god, Penguin. Wow. Yeah, that is pretty bad. I don't know. How long have you been in the hobby, Penguin? If you haven't been in that long, I think it's pretty understandable that you might not know who that is exactly. But either way, I will explain. So you know how Warhammer, not Warhammer. You know how GW has their own painting tutorial channel on YouTube, and you know, like it's the actual GW channel, so obviously it's quite popular. Like their painting tutorials are quite popular for people who are new. He was like the face. He was like the face of GW for quite a number of years. Like he was like to GW what frig. I was thinking of like people who were company mascots. The first one that came to mind was Jared Fogle, the freaking pedophile subway guy. But yeah, he was the good version of a Jared Fogle. But yeah, he was like the mascot of GW. And he was just his like most famous quote. He said it in every video was like, okay, and now apply 2 thin coats. Just like for everything, like everything was always 2 thin coats. And he was just a very like humble, nice, down to earth guy. He's kind of like their version of like Bob Ross. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people just listened to him because he had a very like he's a very chill guy, like very zen personality. It's been like 7 months, so I'm pretty new, but I'm speedrunning the shit as you should. As you should. You should always just dive headfirst in everything. Okay, no, yeah, yeah. So like even like if you go to like the main Warhammer subreddit on Reddit, like I think he's like in the banner for it. But he quit GW and started his own painting YouTube channel, and he also started his own line of paints and maybe brushes too. But I know he did paints. But yeah, like in the Warhammer community, he's like the freaking Jesus himself. Um, and that was like I've had interactions with quite a number of like pretty much almost all of the big Warhammer YouTubers I've got to talk to. But my proudest moment was I got a compliment from Duncan on an Instagram post, so that was a big deal. What is this? My paint has bubbles in it. Oh no. Oh no. Well, quite frankly, it's about time somebody other than me had to suffer. I wish I could tell you a trick to dealing with that, but my idea of dealing with it is either just suffer or buy new paint. So I don't have any. It seems to be just you and me here tonight, Penguin. I was gonna say if there's anybody else in the chat that knows how to help Penguin with his bubbly paint. I've only had problems with this purple and Korix white. What purple is it? I've used quite a few GW purples, because I don't know. You might not have ever seen them, penguins, but I had that big Tyranid army, so I did go through quite a few purples with them. They might have already been gone by the time you were part of the channel. I'm gonna seriously. I said it once before, Penguin. Obviously, as long as you're down with it, I'll look into how to make you, or if I can make you like a moderator or whatever. Maybe I can do that. No, I don't think I can do that from here. I'll look into how to make you a moderator for the channel. Just because you're always here, and you can have the power to just destroy the Slanesh bots too. You can tag team these hoes. These hoes trying to corrupt my channel. It's Army Paint or Alien Purple. I don't like GW paint because they dry out too fast in New Mexico. That's fair. That is fair. So you said the part, or at least where you live in New Mexico, it is very like very deserty. Most areas, I can imagine that would be extra dry. See, up here in Maple Syrup Land, we have the complete opposite issue. Like, for probably half the year, I can't prime things with a spray can because it is so cold and or so like damp or whatever that you will literally get like bubbles and shit as it's drying. And it's like, because it's not even just drying, it's like freezing. Like, can you imagine how much that would ruin a model to have the primer freezing as it's drying? Like, because I can tell you I've done it, and it's like it's not, you can't save it. Like the model is just ruined, or I guess you'd have to strip it or whatever. But yeah, it really sucks. We all have to move. We all got to move to somewhere more mild. Maybe that's the secret to for living in Britain. It's not like cartoon desert, but it is desert. Okay, it's not quite that bad. Like I said, it's one of the only couple states I haven't been to. We'll have to make it down at some point. You were telling me all about the cool stuff to see. You'll spend all this time telling me about all these cool things, and my first day I'll go and get bit by a rattlesnake, and then I'll be in the ICU the whole time. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I probably would just die because your hospital bills are so expensive. I wouldn't be able to afford it. So I'd probably just come to visit and die. The food is the star of the show here. Yeah. Yeah, so that's I mean, when I come down, you have to be my guide and keep me out of trouble. Just keep reminding me like, Zach, you can't pick up that snake because if it bites you, you'll be bankrupt. Just don't get sick and your life isn't ruined. Yeah. How did that work with Rona? Like everybody getting Rona, did the state give some sort of like a benefit or like a package, or like did they, like if you got Rona, did they help pay for it or something? Obviously, I know most people, like, it was just kind of a bad cold or a bad flu, but like for anybody that did end up in the hospital over it, they pay for it in any way. And I'm being super. I said I wouldn't do it, and then I just immediately started doing it. I'm just being super, super rough and shitty with my edge highlighting. I said I don't care about this model at all. It's not a centerpiece of my army. I just want it to look halfway decent. And I actually find white pretty easy to do. Like it all, like really bright white and light white really blend together pretty well. So you don't need your highlights. Most of the time you don't need your highlights to be super perfect. Like you can see, like even as I go, I'm getting kind of sick of it and I'm just kind of being messier and messier. But it doesn't really look that much different. Because the thing is, as I'm gonna go pretty crazy with the weathering and stuff. It'll cover up most of it anyway. I just powered through it at home, but the people that had to go to the hospital are in serious debt. It's like good lord, $2,000 a night at the hospital for what? Minimum. Oh my god. So everybody's like, guess I'll just die then. Like, who has that kind of? I guess you guys like. I guess the one nice thing is you pay a lot less tax in most places, but fuck me, like, yeah. Yeah, so what you're gonna say right now? It's $2,000 to be there, and that's without any of the procedures. I'm guessing. Like if you had to be hooked up to a ventilator or something, that's probably even more. I know I saw something crazy. Like, isn't even just to have a baby, like just to have the baby, isn't it something crazy like $20,000? Wild. I guess that probably that probably depends on the state too, right? That's probably not like a standard thing. It's good tea. I'm telling you, Penguin. It's good tea. It's good for you. All right. Start doing the fun. Oh, I keep forgetting to do the recess shading. Maybe because I don't want to. I do null oil on my white. my white stuff. Not the T, the healthcare. Sorry. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. It's actually fun. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like the thing is, like nowhere seems to really be perfect, right? Like up here, like as crazy as it sounds, up here people complain about the healthcare system all the time because it is, to a degree, it is true what they say that like because it isn't privatized and because you're not paying for it, um, like sometimes I honestly it just depends. Like so if there's an emergency, like if you you know get in a car accident, like you're still gonna go to the emergency room. You're still gonna be seen right away. Like it's no different. It's no different that way. It's not like anything. It's not like it's not like if there's an actual emergency, you're going to be made to wait any longer than you would in the States. The one thing that's shitty though is if it's something like where you have to see a specialist of any kind, like um I don't know all the different types, but like I know like my wife had to go see like a dermatologist, like a skin specialist, and it took like longer than it should have to be able to see that person because there just isn't that many of them, and then like I don't know. I don't really understand how it works, but I know that because you're not paying for it yourself most of the time, things like that, there can be like a longer wait and stuff. But like I really think I would rather the longer wait almost all the time than having to shell out thousands of dollars or whatever. Like I said, like with anything that's an emergency, like you're still gonna get seen right away. It's not like they're gonna be like, oh, you've got like a, you know, there's a piece of car stuck in your forehead. All right, well, sit in the waiting room for 4 hours. Like obviously you're still gonna go right in. Like it's not any different there. Like it's just, uh, it is what it is. I think there's no perfect solution. Like obviously everything to do with healthcare is gonna be expensive. Like the equipment and everything. They can only have so much of it. But I know me being accident prone, like I've been to the hospital a lot in my life. I would not be able to afford Warhammer if I had to pay those medical bills. Various sports injuries and whatever. I would rather wait a couple months than pay because in the US, if you need a specialist, it's not covered by insurance and it's hundreds of. Yeah, yeah. Well, and like insurance, you that's one thing we all share, right? Universally, insurance is so skeezy. They're so scummy. Like honestly, the people who own insurance companies or who make the rules for insurance companies, like they are the scum of the earth as far as I'm concerned. Like they are just so out to get people for everything. They fight you on everything. Like any possible way they can screw you over, they're gonna screw you over. It's so like it's almost like evil. Like it's almost downright evil what they'll do to people. I don't know. I don't know. Watch something wild like my one other viewer tonight is like, "Oh, actually I work in insurance and I'm like the nicest guy ever." And I'm just over here telling him he's second only to Hitler. Like I've done stuff like that so many times in my like in real life. Like there's been so many times where I've just gone off about something, not realizing like that exact person or like that exact like somebody who thinks that way or whatever is like sitting right beside me. So many times. I really should watch what I say a little better, I guess. If you don't want your life ruined, just don't get sick or injured. It's so simple. Just don't. Yeah. Yep. That's some sound advice. Sound advice from the Penguin Lord himself. I realize I just always assumed that you were a dude, but like, hopefully I have not offended you or something by always calling you a dude. I mean, I looked at my numbers and it said 99.1 or something percent of my viewers are dudes. So I mean, statistically, assuming you're a dude is a pretty safe bet. I know my one. I'm not the 1%. Okay. All good then. Always have to err on the side of caution, especially these days. Some wild folks running around. I think the one other patron, I think her name is Victoria. She's the 1%. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. She actually found me on Facebook in one of the groups I'm in. I don't know if it was maybe it was the Kroot group or maybe it was the Tau group. And I was just commenting on like somebody else's post, and she's like, "Hey, you're the dude with the big Kroot T-Rex thing I've seen." I'm like, "That is me." She's like, "Where can I see your stuff?" And I'm like, "Oh, I have a YouTube channel, blah, 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 whatever." And the next thing I know, she is a patron. So that's kind of cool. Kinda cool. Yeah, it's pretty funny. This, my friend Tara there from work, who is, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, maybe she doesn't want me to say her name on here. I don't know. My friend from work, who is coming to game night tomorrow night, she was like asking me what what army or what faction I think would be good for her, and I said either like Eldar or Gene Stealer cults, because she is just like always freaking. She just loves to like troll everybody at work and just between make fun of people or. I was like, yeah, you need to play an army that's like very sneaky and does all kinds of sneaky tricks and things and just like makes people upset. Well, Penguin, I think that we finally beat the Slanesh bots. I don't think they've come back. Haven't really been looking. Super close. The Gene Stealer cult has the best models. Yeah, they're pretty much the only range that's like all new stuff, right? What are we paying? Oh, hey Zenji. So bit of a mixed bag. So we've got two. I'll pull them up. Two of these really, really shitty, beat up. They were. So here's the story. So these were Imperial rhinos that a guy had converted into orc trucks, and he had converted them by using a hot glue gun and just gluing like random scrap to them. So they actually looked like half decent trucks. Like they weren't bad at all, like for an orc truck. But I've just decided I don't really have a desire to do an orc army anymore. Um, that's why I don't know if you guys saw. I'm looking to trade away my custom orc stompa. That's there's a video of him up on the channel, the really big one. I'm looking to trade it away just like for something else to work on because I just don't want to do a whole army of orcs right now. But anyways, so I was like, oh, I will. I stripped all the junk off them, and I'm just painting them up in my World Eaters colors. And I'm just doing like a really quick kind of half-ass job, just so that they're like kind of game ready because I have a game tomorrow with the World Eaters. So you can see this is how they started. This is what we've done so far. We've painted the tracks black, and I've started doing weathering and recess shading and whatever. So that's what we've been doing. And then if by some chance I just get sick of doing these, I might put a little bit of work into this guy. Well, yeah, he's like too big for the camera. It's my custom Corn Lord of Skulls on his big spider legs. So if we get some good work on the rhinos, I might do a little bit on him. But we're just going ham on the rhinos right now, just because they're so like cheap and junky and whatever. I don't really care. I didn't care enough to really clean them up or. My world eaters are all about stealing stuff from other armies. They're all about stealing stuff from other armies anyway. So I was like, oh, they probably just stole these from some Space Marines, and they probably killed them when they stole them. So that's why they look so junky. Yeah. And earlier in the stream, I just talked about what I thought about the newest Warhammer Plus Exodite episode. We're on episode 2 now, so I was just talking about that for a little bit. And yeah, and then me and Penguin have just been talking about all kinds of nonsense. So what is this, Penguin? My only weakness is pirates. I love pirates, so it's a good thing there isn't a pirate army in Warhammer. I don't like orc models. Yeah, I was. Oh, see, Zenji beat me to it, Penguin. They got new Eldar pirates, and those models actually look really good. And I actually am thinking I might, and I never do this. I might actually buy that Kill Team box set that has them and the new Chaos models, because I can obviously use those Chaos models for my World Eaters, and then a couple of those Elf Pirates can for sure go into my Space Pirate army. I'm especially looking at the like Psyker one because I don't have a Psyker character like the Astropath or whatever for the Space Pirate Army. So they, as Eldar Corsairs, they would fit right in. So I might end up getting that box, especially if somebody wants to buy or trade that Orc Stompa off me. Then I can put the money towards that. Anyways, so I'm gonna keep working away on this. I don't know why. What possessed me to just put that big line across there? I don't really like that too much. Oh well. Too late now. It's all fine. It's all fine and good. Patch it up a little bit. A little bit of Ulthuan Gray. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right. Now I'm going to do some fun stuff. We got the Typhus Corrosion. I'm going to be doing some streaking and just some overall dirty nastiness going to be added to this rhino. So it's a couple of the spots where there's the biggest cracks. Just add a little bit of this. And what I do a lot of times when I'm doing this is I'll like sponge away some of it with my finger. find that just kind of helps make it look a little more faded at times. Do do do. Do do do. Pretty decent so far. You missed it if you're still there, Zenji. We had a really bad case of the Slanesh bots earlier. They were out in full force tonight. I actually had to banish them for the first time. They were not going to be deterred. Yeah, oh no. Yeah. This was not. This is why I always put the stream, I put all my videos to like adult only, just because I swear a lot. But the other reason is because like I'm not very fast with banning the bots. Wouldn't that be funny if I forgot to like age restrict it or whatever one time, and then like some 12-year-old like wanders into my stream somehow, and then just gets blasted with Slanesh bot messages, and then he clicks on it and just ruins his mom's computer. Definitely can't relate to something like that ever happening. So yeah, I'm just anywhere like where I've done an extra dark, armor chipping or whatever, then I'll go in with a little bit of this typhus corrosion. And as you can see, I'm just kind of sponge it with my finger, and then I'll usually pick a spot where it makes sense, where like some moisture would have ran down or whatever, and I'll just very lightly drag that down, sponge it up a little bit. I don't know how well you guys can see that right now. No 12-year-old has ever clicked on something on the internet they shouldn't have. Definitely, for sure. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Young kids, especially young male kids on the internet. Yeah, we never got up to any mischief. I definitely didn't get banned from the family computer for some time. Oh Lord. Man, do you guys remember being 12 and not having to worry about like the housing market and shit? Do you remember when you were just like, oh, I can't wait to get home from school and play some video games, or like freaking I can't wait to can't wait for our big football game on the weekend? As if those were real problems. I knew nothing. And now I'm over here friggin' 24 years old feeling like Darth Sidious. Help me, Anakin, I'm too weak. By be applying a red filter after finishing all the weathering. Not being able to beat Mom and Flash Binding of Isaac was my biggest worry back then. Man, you had a mom that played video games? That's pretty rad. So what I'll probably do, Zenji, is like I'm just kind of going hog wild on the weathering right now. I don't know how clear this is showing up. I think my internet connection is being kind of garbage. There, that looks a little bit clearer. But I'm just kind of going wild with it all right now. Like I just want these to be like decent for my game tomorrow. But what I'll probably do is I'll pick a couple spots. Like I probably went. I should have I should have planned it out better. I'll probably pick a couple things like maybe like the smokestacks and maybe a couple little armor bits on the front, maybe the hatch, and um, I'll do them red, and then I'll go through. I'll do the whole process of red. But on my world eaters. Generally, I'd say they're generally like an 80-20 split of like red and white. And then for any of the red parts, if they have trim, I do that in gold. And any of the white stuff, if they have trim, I do it in silver. So my world eaters are like silver, gold, red, white. And the gold is more of kind of like a brassy gold. And I usually hit it with like a green wash. So there's some. I've got quite a lot of pictures of it up on my Instagram and stuff. If you haven't, I haven't done much World Eaters in quite a while. I've been very like unmotivated by them, just because Chaos Marines are in such a bad state right now. But it seems like maybe finally their book might not be that far away. And I've also had this stuff sitting around for forever, so kind of been a little bit motivated again to start doing some stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty easy scheme. It's a pretty easy scheme to make it look well, because like anything that you fuck up or any like mistakes, you just weather the hell out of it. It's so easy to weather white because just everything shows up so incredibly well that I mean, I guess that could be like if you were someone that really cared about like a small mistake or whatever, then that could be a problem. But like I kind of be making my white look like an over toasted marshmallow. Kind of be the vibe. Kind of be the vibe. Sorry, I think I missed a message or two. I was getting carried away. No, so you said, let me read these in order. Not being able to beat your mom. So I never played the Binding of Isaac games. Are they good fun? And then Penguin had said, you don't have unlimited power. You have to pay your electricity bill. Oh my god, the Slanesh bot is back again! What is this? What is this? How do can I just remove this like individual? Hide. I'm so sorry you had to see this, Zenji. You were just an innocent boy. I've always been sad that more Chaos Marines don't have unique models. I would definitely support a line of Emperor's Children. Have you tried Star Wars Legion? Yeah. Okay, so I'll just go in order. Yeah, like I think like I'm not like some people that get like super bent out of shape about like what GW does or doesn't do. Like and there's more important things in the world to get upset about, but like really it is kind of pathetic like what they've done or what they do with like I'm sure that there's going to be a big refresh of Space Marines in the future, just like I'm sure that there's going to be an Emperor's Children Codex, and I'm sure there's going to be a World Eaters Codex, and I'm sure the models are going to be amazing. But like the timing of it makes no sense to me. It is absurd how long it's been since normal Marines, the mini Marines, not just the Primaris, have had 2 wounds, and they still never gave it to Chaos Space Marines. Like, in my opinion, they should have never given it to the normal Marines before Chaos Marines, because like they're the same thing. Like they're the same dude. Like it's just very strange. And it's and like and again, it wouldn't be a big deal if it was like, okay, they all the normal Marines have 2 wounds, and then a month later the Chaos Space Marine book came out, and then it'd be like, okay, fine. It's literally been like what, I don't even know. It's got to be going on like 2 years since they gave 2 wounds to the normal Marines. And like obviously that's not even half the problem, but just like that one small thing is just like it's very silly. It's very silly. I hope the new book is broken as all hell, just to make up for the insults that Chaos Marines have had to deal with. And then I think Penguin had asked. Got to scroll through all the decrepit messages here. Have you tried Star Wars Legion? I have not tried it, but I do have a friend who's like, he's not part of like our main group, but he's somebody that I've talked to about, wargaming quite a bit. And he has actually just quit Warhammer, but he's gotten super into Legion. So I might at some point play a game of it with him. It looks super cool. I've watched some gameplay of it on YouTube. I definitely am a Star Wars fan. I like it. I couldn't tell you which faction I would like, or like I know that there's like two different versions, right? There's like the Clone Wars version, and then there's the normal like Star Wars version. Honestly, my favorite character has, or like my favorite like in terms of looks and just cool factor or whatever, has always been General Grievous. I know that he's like kind of a meme, he's like the asthma robot, but I always really liked General Grievous. I liked his backstory. Um, I think he's probably one of those ones that's like way cooler in the novels and the books and stuff. I haven't read any of them, but I just always really liked him. So I guess I'd probably want to play whatever faction it is called that he's in. Separatists or whatever. I split a box Legion with a friend 4 months ago, and he has only built one battle droid. He's the one that took 2 hours to build a Gene Stealer. Man, what is up with this friend? Like, I don't want to say something rude, like did he have like Parkinson's or something? Like that's wild. Or is he maybe just not like super into it? You think? It's wild. But what are the kits like for them? Are they as complicated? I think they're a little bit simpler to put together too than GW stuff, aren't they? Like they're generally less parts and stuff. For being treated like they're one-to-one to the Imperium and all the 40k promo, then I think sure what show's going out like they're the main characters. No, not even close. And like, Gilliman's a Primarch, Abaddon's just a dude that's juiced up on, the Chaos Kool-Aid, but yeah, like it seems like, I mean, in eighth edition, they weren't even close. Like Chaos Space Marines were way behind normal Marines, and that was when like the Space Marine apocalypse happened, right? And they were just like broken as all hell. So literally, like since then, there's been a whole other edition, and the normal Marines have all got their own codexes and all got their own like sub codexes and books, and the freaking haggard ass Chaos Marines are still sitting there like, please, please, can we just get something? And they're like, okay, you can be in the shittiest, versus box ever against the brand new Eldar models, but you're still not getting your 2 wounds. Like, so funny. Oh god, it's bad. It's bad. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Penguin. You need to friggin' kick your friend in the butt and get him. Maybe you should like offer like he can commission you to build for him. The only way to get Grievous is in the $80 starter box. That's, I mean, depending what comes in it, $80 doesn't sound too bad. Like if you were getting into it. I guess if you really just wanted him, I guess you could probably find him on eBay, I would assume. But yeah, whatever. I think yeah, like that. The box that comes with him, like that's probably what I would want. I think because Grievous has just always been, he's always been my favorite because he's kind of a loser. Like even in his own faction, like he's really cool and scary looking, but like he also kind of sucks. You know what I mean? I think that's why I like him. Like he's not even very good, and like nobody really respects him. He's just like just gets trolled by everybody. Like the Jedi just constantly dunk on him, and then even Dooku is just like, "You're an idiot and you suck." And yeah, yeah, I quite like him. I might honestly like. It seems like by far not enough to me, but like I might honestly just leave the Rhino like that for now, um, just so that I can actually get some work on the other one. Because if I just keep going, I know I'm just gonna get tired and bored and not do anything. One thing I will do quick is I'll paint up the little plow thing on the front. I'll just do that with lead belcher, and then I'll do a little bit of blood splatter on it because we're world eaters. We can't have non-blood splattered vehicles. Love Grievous in Clone Wars. Oh my god, there's a freaking beard hair stuck to my paintbrush. You see that? It's wild. You love him in Clone Wars the animated one. See, now this is my confession, Penguin. You had one earlier, Zenji. If you're still here, Penguin didn't know who Duncan Rhodes was off the top of his head, and I told him that was like a Warhammer sin for sure. But my sin My sin is that I've never watched all of the Star Wars Clone Wars because after the first like 2 or 3 seasons, I just kind of it was like a little bit too like kiddish for me. And I know everybody says like, oh, the last like 2 seasons I think are supposed to be just amazing, but I just haven't forced myself to watch the parts that I don't like yet. But I'm gonna watch it all at some point. I for sure will. I just haven't got to it. I did watch. I have been watching. Like I watched all of Boba Fett, and I'm gonna be watching all of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Um, I'm assuming probably everybody's watched those, right? Like you guys watch those. Um, but yeah, I've loved all of the recent Star Wars shows. I'm sure everybody agrees, basically, like that the seven, eight, nine in terms of movies probably just shouldn't have happened. What's this, Senji? I have a Vindicator in my pile of shame. One day it's beautiful. Oh no, the message went away. Um, I have a Vindicator in my pile of shame. One day it's beautiful. Bulldozer will be completed too. I honestly missed the boat entirely on the animated Clone Wars. Yeah, yeah. I kind of not that I missed it, Zenji, but like I watched I think like the first 2 or 3 seasons, and like and again this is probably a sin too because I know a lot of people really liked her. I found Ahsoka so annoying that I honestly found myself like wanting to skip all the parts with her. But then all the parts with her are the parts with Anakin. So then I know I'm missing like a lot of the important story and stuff. So, but I'll give it another watch. I also missed the boat in the sequel trilogy, and I've been told that it's probably for the best. But the shows they've come out with recently, but yeah, yeah, I agree. I would agree with that, Zenji. Like the movies, like 7, 8, 9. So like when I watched 7, I honestly didn't hate it. I was like, it's kind of like just a repeat of stuff we've already seen. They didn't really explore anything new. It's just like another Death Star, and it's the same characters that we know, but like that's fine. Like they're getting back into it. They're starting a new series. Like it's fine to start kind of where you left off with and where people are familiar. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then 8 happened, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, this is so bad. And then 9 was even worse, in my opinion. Like, it just fell apart so hard. Like, it's like they didn't even try, which is sad. I really liked Rogue One. That was just like a standalone. And Han Solo was like not terrible. It wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be. But yeah, like Mandalorian and Boba Fett, so much better. And I have high hopes for Kenobi. They got the man. Ewan McGregor back. I'd like to see what his paycheck was, because I bet you it was pretty nice. I think I missed another message. I am terrible. What is this? Ahsoka gets a lot better. Yeah, and I think somebody was telling me that too, Penguin, that like she like gets a little bit more grown up in some of the later couple seasons. Because like in Mandalorian, she's in Mandalorian. I like her in Mandalorian just fine. But yeah, like the way her and Anakin in the show, and he's like calls her Snips or something. I'm just like, I don't know, just really grinded on me. And I have no time. I have no free time as it is. So like, I have very low tolerance for shows like not being perfect. I'm like, if it's not perfect and I don't love it, I just won't watch it because I don't have any time to waste on shows that might get better or might be okay in a different season or something. So, but that's just kind of a me problem. That's not to say that other people couldn't do that, couldn't like that. All right, so we painted the plow silver. I also just dry brushed some silver on the tracks because then I got to thinking that they probably are metal tracks. The last thing I'm going to do on this little tank is I'm going to just sponge on a little bit of blood for the blood god paint on that plow and around the tracks like he's been people. And then I'm probably going to do the same thing a little bit, but just with the technical paint, just to make it look like he's been, driving over dirt and stuff. There's no way I could ever get into anime for that reason, the time investment. Um, yeah. So, yeah, and I know like this is like my opinions on anime are uh very varied. So my brother is like he was like pretty hard into anime or like a lot of them. Um and so he's probably sent me over the years like let's say like 30, 40 different animes that he's like, "Oh, this one's good, try it, watch it, whatever." And let's say that I tried 10 of them. Like I would say less than half I actually watched because a lot of them like from the first episode I'm like, "Ugh, no, like yeah, like I can't I don't I know for a lot of people like they just love that, but like a lot it's like so cringy or like I'm like so maybe this is like anti nerd culture, but like the whole like you know the like very like ridiculous looking like anime women like worse than any like you play like a fantasy game and like there's like the female character and like her armor is a little bit skimpy, but this is like it's just some of it's just like I'm like watching it and I'm like this is making me feel weird, like this is a weird thing I'm watching, like aren't these are meant to be like high school kids, and then I'm like, ugh, I don't like it. So there's a bunch of them I've been like, no, I can't watch it. But honestly, Zenji, I will say there is good ones. Like I have seen some animes that I have liked, and I've watched most of them or some of them. Like Full Metal Alchemist. Honestly, and you watch the English version of it. You don't have like a lot of them. Like it's not worth it to even to watch the English one because the the dub is so like weird and bad. Honestly, the watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It's I think like 5 seasons or something. It's genuinely a very good show. It's like not for kids at all. It's like a mature show. It's got a really cool plot, story, twists and turns. There's no like weird scantily clad women. Um, there. Okay, so there you go. So Zenji watched Full Metal. Yeah, if you haven't watched it, Penguin, there's two of them, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is generally said to be the better one, and that's the one I watched. Very, very good. Like it's actually one of the best shows I've ever watched, and like that's saying something because I am very picky about shows. I genuinely really like that one. Like everything about it. All the characters were good. The story was good. Twists and turns were good. Really cool action scenes. You know, they're not afraid to like kill off, you know, characters and stuff. All right, so Zenji, you watched it all right? And what about remember the scene with the little girl and her dog? And it was just like, "Daddy." Oh God. Oh, it hurts. Ah, even just to think about that, it makes like my skin crawl. Yeah, Penguin. There's like genuinely like some pretty like fucked up, like disturbing parts in it. Like it's good. Like it's a good show. Zenji knows what's up. Zenji knows what's up with all the memes. They're like, "Daddy." Ugh, good show. One other one that I will vouch for is there's only one season of it, and it honestly there it like even at like a couple parts I was kind of like, I don't know about this, brother. I don't know if this is a good show. Is Goblin Slayer. Um, it's basically like the world is kind of like a knockoff like Dungeons and Dragons world. Oh God. Is this another bot? Do I need to ban? We'll give him a moment to explain himself and start sending links. We're banned. One of these days, it's going to be like an actual person that's like speaking a different language or something, and I'll be like, "It's a bot! Get him! Get him!" Edward, yeah, that scene. It's like right. I think that was genuinely the first like adult like meant definitely not meant for kids like adult animated show that I watched. And that scene like it has stuck with me for years. Years. But also on that same note, like some of the fight scenes in that were so cool. Like anything with King Bradley were really cool. Really well done. But anyways, yeah, so I like that one. And I liked Goblin Slayer, as I was starting to say. It's like I said, it's got a couple like kind of weird parts, but I like Goblin Slayer a lot. It was a cool world, cool action scenes and whatever. So I like that. Um, One Punch Man, One Punch Man. I think there's two seasons of it now. Was genuinely like very funny. It was genuinely a very funny show. It gave me some good laughs. So I like that one. Um, I've only watched the first season of Attack on Titan, but I know it's very popular, and, people say the other seasons are good. I just haven't got around to watching them yet. So that might be a thing. Bradley versus Scar. Yeah, yeah, or even just before that. What really like not even just him, but like the whole like assault on that fort or whatever. When it's like he's like blowing up tanks, and then you've got what's his name, Major Armstrong, and his sister like fighting Sloth, and and then all those like nasty zombie things. Pretty cool show. Pretty cool show. And like the like I think you said like the high. I like the like high concepts. Like it was like they didn't just go for like the same old same old. Like it's one of those shows that I genuinely there was a lot of like new ideas and new things like that I had never seen before in a show. Like their idea of the other dimension and whatever and how that all works. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Must say I liked it. But all right. So there is our tank. I think it is game ready. The only thing it's missing is some red, but I will go back and do that another time. I think it looks fine enough for now. Now I'll start working on this one a bit. Actually, let me see here. I'll probably actually just do. I got fed up with the purple paint and gave up. So are you gonna just get a different purple paint penguin, or are you just like, what's the plan here? Oh, all right. I think I can actually hear my little guy waking up, guys. So I am just gonna end the stream here, just because it's getting fairly late here, and I've got some cleaning up to do and stuff. But probably what I'm gonna do is just like the tracks on this tank, and maybe like some just really basic weathering. I actually did more on the other one than I had planned on doing, so I probably wasted some time there. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, guys. As always, a pleasure to have some company while painting. Good luck with Tank Penguin. Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Senji. Oh, God, I had a freaking killer day at work the other day. Just the maintenance and the repairs and stuff I was doing. It was like crawled up under machines for so long, and then I also just like so much heavy stuff. If it feels like I just did like a 2-hour workout, like that's how sore all my arms and everything is. It's not fun. So anyways, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for hanging out as always. Adios. Bye.